Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hi there, welcome back.
So how many of you guys are familiar with this classic painting?
Oh, pick me. I am, kind of.
Okay, Cindy, you in the front row.
Well, don't ask me any questions about it. I've just seen it.
Oh, okay. There's many things that can stand out about this. As we see, there's basically, you have four different groupings of three people. And you have Yeshua, Jesus, in the center. Many people have pointed out that who is directly to the right? Sure looks feminine.
Yes, it sure does look very feminine to me. And all these different hand gestures, I'm just kind of curious about this one.
Yes. And before I go too deep into what we really want to talk about, I just have this for everybody out there. What's this knife doing here? And whose hand is it? Ooh, there's one of those mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
Two hands, two hands. You see his left hand over here. We don't really see his right hand. Is this his right hand? And if so, why is it so twisted? Can't be his right hand, can it? You see both of his hands, both of his hands. Her hands are folded. Yeshua is got one hand in a yin position, one in a yang position. And he's wearing blue and red, again, yin and yang type of colors. Very interesting as you see, little scowls and concern over here and questions over there. Actually, this one looks very feminine too, does it not?
Mm-hmm. Sure does.
Yeah. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. So what we wanted to share with you guys, because we have gotten a lot of information from Yeshua, and you could contact him too if you have the desire to. Nobody ever really goes away.
Mm-mm.
Consciousness goes on, and that's one of the messages that he wanted us to give today.
Oh, most definitely wants us to understand the eternal nature of things.
Yes, and he wants us to continue sharing what we have been sharing, that yeah, he was real. He is real. He still is. But the story that we get, again, the official stamp of approval of the powers that be on this planet version, is not the true version. It's not what really happened, how things really went down. And it's not the purpose and message that he wanted to get across.
Oh no, it's not. It's a twisted version to keep us under lock and key control in our souls.
And so many people have come to the conclusion after a lot of studying that this person on the right is Mary Magdalene. And why is she in that position of authority?
Well, because she is authority.
Yeah, and as Yeshua represents the divine masculine, she represents the divine feminine.
She sure does. Yeah, she's not what we've been taught to believe at all. There's been so much disinformation with her. It's sad.
Yeah, exactly. And you can look at her colors, as well and see that. And together they are balance and they are harmony, as we have said. And so, you could view her as the Shakti to his Shiva.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing.
And what we have gotten is, yeah, they were a couple. Many people have talked about it. You had the Da Vinci Code that got into that, and the whole Merovingian bloodline issue as well.
Most definitely. And I got married with children.
Yeah, and actually we got 5 children is what they had, 3 boys and 2 girls.
Yes, indeed. That's definitely what came through, which is really curious because it's nothing like what we're taught in the books.
No, and that they lived in part of a Essene community. They were part of the Essene way of life, way of thinking. And the Essenes, again, lived in a communal setting. Everybody did have their own space per se, but they worked together, and they worked as a unit, even though they were all distinct individuals. They understood, kind of like cells in the body working together and not necessarily competing with each other, as we've made that um, allegory of. When you think about it, the liver is not competing against the brain, it's not competing against the heart. The spleen is not competing against the large intestine. No, they're all doing their distinct functions as separate organs in one singular system.
Mm-hmm. And the foot is not jealous because the hand can wear a ring.
No, exactly. So, we have to come to this understanding and realization. And so, again, dogmas have been basically created to divide. And Yeshua was basically a rabbi, a teacher, a yogi, all of the above, and an amazing being. Now we have gotten that he is currently on the 5th density, and still working with humankind.
Well, yeah, he works from there to here, and he does send people energy, sends people, thought forms. He teaches from that density.
And we all have stellar lineage, and so we've also gotten that he is of a Pleiadian Arcturian lineage.
Most definitely. And he has energies that are very, very unique to him. And I think what with him, the most important thing is the teaching aspect of his life. It's very important to him to have people learn about Ascension, but learn it in the right way.
Exactly, because he was here to teach us the mysteries. And in the West, as we've said so many times, the mysteries had to go underground because, quite simply, you could end up dead if you were open about these things. When we look at, for instance, over here, I'll give you guys a PDF of this. There, as we said, there was over 200 gospels in existence, and we end up with just 4. Most people out there would think, well, there's only 4 gospels. There only ever was 4, right? No, there was like 200. And actually, there was tons of them that were Gnostic in origin or had Essene tendencies, as you see the Gospel according to Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, this is not something that I'm very well read on, but I do understand when certain things are left out of certain books. There's got to be a reason for it.
Well, there is, because for one, again, if we are run by these galactic slave trading pirates, and this is nothing but just one of their territories, one of their pieces of property that they view as simply, it's just an asset. When they're done with it, they'll discard it. And we'll end up looking like Mars if they have their way. They don't care about it. So how do you get people to not care about it? Well, you have to take away the whole divine feminine, the whole mother aspect. Take away the fact that Gaia is the mother of our bodies. Just, again, we could equate it to the Shiva and Shakti aspect of things. And Shiva, in one sense, is that which is not yet physical, pure consciousness. It's through the divine feminine that we come into manifested existence. And in Hinduism, for instance, Shiva and Vishnu, Narayana, work together because, in one way, Vishnu is the manifested aspect of Shiva, which is the universal consciousness that has not yet come into form. So these are all allegories. They're all ways of helping us understand things, but without having that respect for Mother Earth, then, yeah, you could simply bribe and coerce certain humans to turn their back on the planet itself and on other humans.
Right. Well, it's when it comes to the mother energy, it's that understanding, that nurturing, that merciful feeling that's totally missing out of our society and all of our state-run organizations. Like, you got family court, which is very cold. the police station. Everything's about a procedure and a policy, and there's no taking anybody's emotions into account.
Exactly. So that's how they've divorced us from our own mother, so to speak, and made it so that, you know, there are these humans that have been in apparent control of this planet. Of course, they do report to higher authorities, that are willing, for their own greed and selfishness, and, you know, securing legacies, quote unquote, for their own bloodlines and families, that they will betray the rest of the human race. And, you know, we could look at them anytime we want to. Just, you know, go ahead, go on Twitter, go on, you know, any news organization, and you could see who they are. And in these times, as we awaken, it gets much easier to just spot the illusion, see right through the lies. And some of these beings have been overshadowed to the point where they're no longer really hardly even human anymore. They're just shells, they're husks that are just basically vehicles. They become vehicles for these dark energies and entities that possess them. So we got that Yeshua, yeah, he was definitely a rabbi, a yogi, a teacher, a mystic, and he was married to Mary Magdalene. They were a couple. We've gotten that they had 3 boys and 2 girls. We've gotten that the bloodline of Yeshua still exists on the planet to this day.
Yeah, there's not much left though, but there's some.
There is. We got that there was 2 individuals, and this was a while ago. We just haven't shared it, and we know what countries they're in, but, you know, we'll keep that, I think, quiet, just out of respect for them and their well-being as well. So yeah, what was he teaching? He was teaching the mysteries, how to ascend. You know, think about the timeline. When Krishna left, the Kali Yuga began, and so he knew we were starting to get ready to turn a corner. If you look at Sri Yukteswar's timeline, you know, it's just it's not too far after that we actually get out of the Kali Yuga, and we are, you know, in the big scheme of things, you know, heading up into the higher vibrational frequencies once again. As we've shared, you know, in one line of view, you could view that humans here on this planet are fallen angels, fallen through density again. And what is our potential? It's heavenly.
It is heavenly. That's our potential. And this is definitely something they want to keep from us, how to ascend, because it's all about the soul. It's all about separating the soul from this density where we're used as nothing more basically than batteries to run the elites, their communications and their buildings and their businesses. You know, they keep us stuck in this square box, and they say, well, the only reason you're going to learn this is so you can, you know, help us run our bank at some point. But that's not what life is about. Life is about ascending up and beyond.
It most definitely is. And so instead, they turn it into a blood sacrifice. And there's been so many blood sacrifices. We could look to Mesoamerica, and we could see where the captured people of certain tribes, you know, were literally slaughtered by the thousands, one heart carved out of a body after another, in these, on top of these pyramids, in this horrible blood sacrifice. We could see the blood sacrifices that are carried out even to this day. You know, you gotta question yourself, you know, why was a blood sacrifice? It's going to Cain and Abel. Cain, Abel, Cain, Abel, Ken, Abel. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what's your vocabulary words?
Yes. Think about things through. Why would the creator of everything demand a blood sacrifice? That's a draconian, reptilian, cold-blooded thing. It's not the source of everything demanding that. And that becomes apparent, as we've said. You know, the word used is Elohim, mighty ones, not the source creator of everything. Everything has been so twisted here. So Yeshua came to teach ascension, and we got that he did ascend. He didn't actually, and this is going to be hugely sacrilegious to so many, but it wasn't him dying on the cross. He actually ascended without ever dying, and that was his purpose here, is to show that it is possible to ascend without ever literally dying.
Right. And the story has just been so muddled so that people believe what they've been told. Because as long as you believe what you've been told, you're controllable.
And in reality, there is no death as far as the consciousness goes. The body is just a vehicle. As the Bhagavad Gita says, worn out garments, hey, they're just discarded by the user. When their time comes, hey, yeah, can't throw a patch on it anymore. It's time for a new shirt, a new tunic, right? A new cloak. Same thing with the body. And when the body has passed its purpose, it's just discarded. Most of us have lived countless lives. And, we still are. Of course, we have let go of the body. But Yeshua came to teach that it was possible to raise your vibration. And the message is one of Christ consciousness. And Christ, christened, anointed. That's what it means. Where's that anointing? Well, Santos Bonacci's done a lot of good work, pointing out that this is all about Kundalini. This is all about awakening the Shakti at the base of the spine to rise up to the crown chakra, unite with the Shiva up there. And again, these words, they could be, you could use different words. It doesn't really matter. It's the thought. It's the thought behind it and the process of uniting the Ida and the Pingala, which are two nadis, two energy channels that run alongside the Sushumna. When the masculine and feminine energies are balanced and drawn upward through the chakras, opening up the chakras, then the Kundalini energy can be released. It can illuminate the third eye, which is the eye of Horus, as we've seen depicted so many times in the pineal gland. That's why they give us fluoridated water, fluoride treatments at the dentist, and also put fluoride in toothpaste. They don't want us awakening this. This is also why they've so subdued the whole concept of the divine feminine. So he was an ascension teacher, an ascension master. He mastered it because he descended. He didn't have to come here. He came here to help us, as so many other ascended masters do.
He did. And, that's the story that we got, that he wants us to tell you. And hopefully that you'll understand and begin to break out of that box, that self-limiting kind of attitude.
Most definitely. Most definitely. And so, hopefully you guys will get something out of this. And then, of course, there'll be a ton that will think it's absolutely sacrilegious without understanding the history of the Constantinian church and mindset and the control matrix that we've been in, because it is a control matrix. And yes, Yeshua is still there. He's still there on 5D, and he's still helping. And I asked him today, basically said, I'm sure he's aware of all the prophecies of his return in a physical sense.
Well, yeah, and he's disappointed that it's been so skewed.
Right, because it's, as he had said, it's not about him coming and setting foot physically on the planet. It's about embracing the teachings at the core, and it's about elevating our own individual consciousnesses to that level of an anointed one.
Yeah, it's the Christ consciousness. It's a vibration.
It's a vibration and a frequency of compassion and love.
Yep, and that's what we're moving into.
And unity consciousness, seeing the bigger picture again, recognizing that each one of us is the cell and the body of something larger. So we need to stop acting like a cancerous cell and start coming into unity and harmony by releasing all that which no longer serves.
Really, ultimately, it's super important that you take a good look at yourself and take very good care of you, because you're where all of this starts.
So thanks for being part of the family. I hope you guys found this interesting and insightful. And, I said to Cindy too, I said, we could just do Q&As, because, she could connect so easily with so many of these different beings. Like we had connected to Mithras, and we've connected to Thoth, and we've connected to so many of these other beings, and Yeshua we do on a regular basis. As you know, I do a mantra to him every day, 108 repetitions minimum. Today I did 3 cycles, 324 repetitions to connect stronger and get a little bit more of a message coming through. But I mean, this is something that with training and just basically stick-to-itiveness, consistency, in this age that we're going into, most people will be able to do this. Most people will be able to connect to these higher realms. Hence, that is why you see all the chaos on the planet.
Yeah, they gotta keep us distracted.
Exactly. Drama. Thank you guys for being part of the family. Thank you for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. Feel free to reach out if you need to make an appointment, evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com or EEARTS@protonmail.com. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.